parts of your body now at one point or another. I think from the early days when we used to work at XFM, you started showing me bits of your anatomy, which is something he does to people he likes, friends of his. I'm sure you've seen most of it, Carl.
No.
And so,
It's not that sort of relationship. Go
he
on.
was sat there, and there was a knock at the door because we'd asked someone who worked in the building to bring us something, and so I had to delay it by sort of not opening the door so he could get his shirt back on.
Yeah.
So he was running around trying to get his shirt back on.
Because
So
what would they have thought? What would they have thought?
they'd have walked in, he'd have just
but
been
the
sat
thing
there,
is-
stripped to the waist.
Didn't they sort of think, hang on, what's going on? Look through the keyhole.
No. No.
It was ludicrous because as they came in, he was flustered and he kind of was just leaning against the window, just looking like I often stand here with my my shirt back to
It's
front.
I was getting like Bernard Manning. You see Bernard Manning, whenever he goes into the house, he has to go upstairs to take his trousers off. I love that. The fact that in your house you've just got your pants and your vest on. That's what you want to do.
Yeah, but it's all the time. It's not just. I mean, you haven't done that with me, taking your clothes off and that yet. But like last night, we were sat in the pub and I was saying, right, you know, let's not even worry about new features. Then let's get the current ones, you know, going. and
Like
getting
what?
Good. Like the one that I was trying to work out, the cheeky freak of the week.
Think of that!
Yeah, but I was
Think of
saying,
that though, as a normal conversation.
Yeah,
As
but
a-
I'd looked online, right? I didn't find that much. I found. Actually, I'll tell you what I found later. Brilliant. We're looking for them, right? And then at one point, I think you said to me, "Go and, you know, what about the Guinness Book of Records?
Yeah,
you know,
there's loads of
they'll have like
yeah.
the best freak
Yeah.
in the world or whatever."
yeah, ever.
So I said, "Yeah, bring one in." Now you've got one at home.
Yeah, I got a
But you
couple.
couldn't be bothered carrying that in today, so I had to go out of the pub that I was at,
Yeah,
nip into Borders,
yeah,
buy a Guinness Book of Records,
Yeah.
out of my own money, $18.99.
yeah.
Bring it back, and then you said, "Oh, I don't know if I want to do this feature." So it cost me 20 quid for that. I had to buy a video for Silence of the Lambs film clip. I'm actually out of pocket at the end of this.
But do you want to work with me is the thing. If you want to work with... people would pay that sort of money to work with me, Carl. You're a lucky bloke. Think how many people think, oh, Carl, he gets to drink and sit.
Yeah.
Well, you were making a cup of tea and I surprised, didn't I? It's little surprises.
Steve, you know, last night, do you know when I left the pub in a bit of a mood because
Yeah.
I just fed up with not getting anything done?
Yeah.
Walking down the road, I was thinking, how can I get out of this? How can I stop having to work with them? I'm thinking, I wonder if I leave, I wonder if they'll be funny and they'll go, and then my boss will be giving me stick. I'm thinking, how much notice have I got to give out? And all this is going through my mind. I'm walking home and I got in, said to Suzanne, I'm sick of it. She's going, you need to do it when I get a new kitchen. And I was like, yeah, but how big does the kitchen need to be? I was saying, do we need a big kitchen? Can we get a small one? Have we got enough for a small kitchen? Do we need so many cupboards? Can we just have wood instead of steel? All this, try to get out of doing this.
Yeah. It's always just, I always feel like, you know, because I like to think that I'm not perhaps as bad as him.
Yeah,
You
no.
annoy me in different ways.
Like what? How does he annoy you?
Well, stuff that, you know, I come up with ideas, say
Yeah.
Cheap as Chimps.
Yeah.
Rockbusters springs
Yeah.
to mind.
Yeah. I
15
like rock-
Taiwan.
15 Taiwan. Let's just remind people what 15 Taiwan was.
It was a little feature that I wanted to give a run, you know, give it a little run, see if people like it.
The premise being?
No, there's no premise, it's just a title.
No, we were going to get 15 sort of ornaments, you'd explain them, and then people would call up and say, that one's from
radio.
Taiwan.
See? God, you just explained why I didn't think that was a good idea.
Yeah,
By
yeah.
explaining the good...
No,
by
you know
explaining
the funny thing is, Steve, right, I was walking down Regent Street on Monday, walked past one of these big stores, right, and they've got all famous quotes on the windows, right,
Yeah.
and one of them was something like, an absurd idea is often a great idea.
Yeah,
Do you know who said that?
go on.
Einstein.
Yes.
Which made me wonder, if you were his mate, would he ever have done E equals MC squared? Or would you have said, don't bother with that, it's not going to work? Because that's all you seem to do, everything I come up with,
Yeah.
you put down.
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing. He's negative, right? I don't know why. I don't
Okay.
know why he is. What else?
He messes me about, I get him concert tickets for stuff, and
Yeah.
you say, oh, I didn't bother going.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
You
annoying.
come in, you know, 5 minutes to go with tracks that need editing.
Yeah. The little bag, that bag that was free.
Yeah, you got a free bag today, an
Yeah.
XFM little rucksack thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were like, oh, what's this rubbish?
Yeah.
Ricky said, I'll have it, they're great. You said, no, I want it.
Yeah.
Well, it was
So-
free, I needed it.
Yeah.
I'll give that as a gift or
Well,
something.
So, I mean, I think on reflection, Steve is probably a little bit more annoying than me.
I won't go that far. You are annoying. If I had to go away for a week somewhere,
Yeah.
if it was a quiet place,
Well, you
and
are again, aren't you? That's 2 holidays you had this week, this year, I mean.
if it was a busy place, I'd probably go with you, because people, do you know what I mean, staring at me all the time and that if I'm walking around with Steve. No, I'm just
Can I draw up a list of reasons I don't like you, Carl?
being honest.
Well, I'll tell you, because the list of reasons I don't like you is incredibly long and getting longer. Do
Just saying.
you want another slap?
There's a star. Ash, XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Carl Pilkington. Carl. Alright, let's start again. Yeah? I'm going to be the same, but let's start again. So what I mean is stop being grumpy and let me carry on being annoying. Because Steve's not going to change. He's not going to suddenly start going, you know what, Carl? I think your ideas are really good. Do you know what I mean? Remember when he came up with that idea, that game show idea?
Oh.
And you went, well, it's not an idea, Carl. And he came to me, he said, oh, I've had it with Steve. What's it? He went, how did The Office ever get on telly?
Well, what was the idea again, in summary?
I don't want to talk about it on air because someone will nick it.
No, they won't.
They will. Donald McIntyre's already got Cheap as Chimps. I bet they're in the making of Rockbusters as we speak.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to tell you any more
I
about
reckon
it. but
Bob
it's a good
Holness
idea.
is probably nicking that idea.
Exactly.
Well,
Cheeky little... Right.
songs of phrase coming soon.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, what is it this week? What's the phrase?
We're remember the story I told you ages ago about my neighbour having a horse in their house.
Oh, yeah.
Having a horse.
What's happened with that? Lenny Henry doing it as a series.
So
People nicking your ideas left, right and centre.
well, that's the phrase we'll be using anyway.
What?
My neighbour had a horse in her house.
How many words is that?
6.
My neighbour had... So, there's no grammar either. My neighbour had horse in the house. My neighbour had horse in house. What is the phrase?
My neighbour had a horse in her house.
Are there any
Let's wait till we
prepositions?
hear
Are
it.
there any prepositions in this sentence?
Look, don't judge it beforehand. You see, I'm
Okay.
turning over a new leaf. I think this is a great idea. I think Carl's a genius, and I look forward to hearing this enormously.
Yeah, okay. And I won't be sick on your leg, or squeeze your head, or make you jump when you're making a cup of tea.
Just looking through the Guinness
That is
Book of
still the
Records.
funniest thing, isn't it? Squeaking at someone when they got a cup of tea. Right.
There are a lot of what strike me as seemingly pointless feats.
The
And
Guinness Book of
records.
Records is right. The Guinness Book of Records is great. I used to love it as a kid. I've had about 10 copies in my life. The last one I bought a couple of years ago, at present. It was really good. I love it. I love the real records: tallest, fattest, thinnest, best, fastest, most expensive, biggest, and all that. But the ones that really annoy me are the ones that. The reason these people are in there for it are the only people that tried.
What,
Balancing
yeah.
the milk bottle on your head.
Most watches eaten. I just found that one. Kim Sung-doo from South Korea ate 5 watches, the entire watch with the exception of the wristband, in a time of 1 hour 34 minutes. What do you make of that, Carl?
Made him regular. Come on.
How did they time him?
Most live rattlesnakes held in the mouth. 8 live rattlesnakes held by, it just says an idiot.
Yeah, this gives me an idea, Carl.
Talking of idiots.
Do you want to get into Guinness Book of Records?
No.
Carl, come on,
Come
that'd
on,
be brilliant.
Wait, there's things in there that are just absolutely anyone could do. Like that one in Big Brother, I was watching it, and it was balancing sugar lumps. I want to know how many people try that. There's schools around Britain going, listen, we've got to get in the sugar lump award. It's grassroots level. There's not enough kids balancing sugar lumps. How can we compete in the world market?
I was looking at it last night, and there was one about the farthest that a dog swam. I think it was something like 9 miles, but it had no choice, did it? You know what I mean? He took it out to the Atlantic or something, and so it didn't want to do
Threw
it.
it in the water.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
not all right to put it in a bin bag and chuck it in a canal,
No.
but it's for a world record.
Yeah.
9 miles it did.
Oh God.
Possible ones that you could do, Carl.
What's the most Forrest Gumps fitted in one wheelie bin?
What about this one for you, Carl? The record stands at the moment for most arrows caught by hand, but that's quite tricky. So what about most arrows caught by head?
Yeah.
And you
they,
would just fire arrows at your
they
head.
wouldn't. It would just skim off him.
Do you think so?
Yeah, the roundness. It would never actually get any sort of connection.
Fastest human crab. Could you do that?
I'll
Can
do
you-
that.
Can you
What's-
form the crab?
Can you do that?
What's that?
It's
You
just
know
like go bending over
No, I
backwards and
can't
running.
do that.
No.
Got a bad back.
Right, what about
What would you be good at?
what about hamburger stuffing?
Oh,
All right.
right, Carl. Let me. All right.